In this video, we will see what determines all our actions and how every action can be understood in relation to the three gunas. The knowledge given in the Bhagavad Gita is so wonderful and practical. It is a real guideline in life. It is short, consistent, and unbelievably deep. So, before we go to action in relation to the gunas, let's first see what is the cause, the foundation of any action. Krishna says in chapter 18, verse 14 and 15, the 5 factors of action are the seed of action, the actual performer, the various sense organs, the different kinds of effort, and the Lord Himself, who is the 5th cause. Whatever work one undertakes with body, speech, and mind, whether right or wrong, these 5 are its cause. In this explanation, Krishna says that every action has its origin in these 5 factors, and also the outcome is related to these 5 factors. So let's go through them once again. The first point he mentions is the place, where, the seed of action, or in the highest sense, the body. Second, the performer, or who, in the highest sense, the living entity which identifies with this body, or the soul. Third, the instrument, or what, meaning the various sense organs or tools which are involved in the action. Fourth, the effort, or how much effort do you put into something? And fifth, destiny, or karma. For example, I'm shooting this video now in this room here. If it would be shot in a different room or outside in nature, the outcome would be different. The first factor is the place which determines an outcome. Secondly, I am making this video, not you. If anybody else would make the same video, it would be different. The outcome would be different. If the performer changes, then the action and its outcome changes. So the second factor which influences the outcome of an action is the performer. Third, we are using quite a good camera, a microphone, a light, etc. If I would use only my phone, the outcome of this video would be different. So the third factor are the instruments which are involved, or what is involved in an action, and that also defines the outcome of the action. Fourth, I prepared the script of this video, and I asked somebody, namely Shrestha Dasananda, to help me with the recording of the video. I'm focused and concentrated during the recording. In short, I make some effort. And the outcome of the video is, of course, depending on how much effort I put in its production. Or the outcome of any action depends on how much effort you put into it. So the fourth factor is how you do something, which effort you put into it. That will influence the outcome of an action. Fifth, if all of a sudden we would have a massive earthquake here while we record this video, the camera would shake, and of course all of that would change the outcome. But this, as you can see, is a higher influence which I or we cannot control. So the fifth factor is destiny or karma or God's will. So I hope the idea became somehow clear. These 5 factors are the cause of any of our actions, if we like it or if not. And therefore, now Krishna mentions what happens if we have lack of this kind of knowledge and discrimination. He says, this being the case, the fool with an underdeveloped intelligence who sees only himself as the agent does not see at all. How does this now tie into the concept of the gunas? In chapter 18, verse 23, he says, prescribed work which is done without attachment, without desire or hatred, by one who does not look for any reward, is said to be sattvic. If we remember, every action should be done in the spirit of sacrifice. Prescribed actions are sacrifice, charity and austerity, as well as our daily duties in the world. Like we said so often, it depends how we do the things and not what we do. Without attachment, without repulsion, without expectation to its fruit, that is a pure action. That is a sattvic action which uplifts us spiritually. In chapter 18, verse 24, he says, action performed with a longing to fulfill desires and which is motivated by ego or excessive endeavors is said to be rajasic. In short, egoistic actions for the fulfillment of desires are rajasic in nature. And finally he says in chapter 18 verse 25, and that work which is done under delusion, which does not consider one's ability and does not care about the consequences, loss or injury involved, is said to be tamasic. You see, this reminds me of the last time when I climbed a tree without a rope. It was a very high tree, and I only noticed high up that this was actually beyond my ability. But I kept on going, not caring about eventual consequences. Luckily, everything went well, but later when I read this verse, I realized how tamasic my action was. As we can see, the gunas are everywhere present, and a sattvic lifestyle, a pure lifestyle, will help us on the path to self-realization and to God realization. This series of videos on the gunas, according to the Bhagavad Gita, should help us to see where we stand and what we could eventually change in our life to live more fulfilled. Stay tuned for further videos. Consider subscribing, share with your friends and with family, and if you like it, give it a thumbs up. Jai Gurudev.